What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. In today's video, we're going to be looking at what is an AI automation agency and how do you actually make money with one. Now, most people have heard the term AI automation agency, but very few can explain clearly what one actually does, how it makes money, or why the model works particularly well right now. And this doc covers exactly that: what an AI automation agency is, what it does for clients, how the business model actually works, what the revenue looks like, and why this is one of the most accessible agency models available to someone starting from scratch in 2026. Now, to add a caveat to this, no, I can't write today. If you are under the age of 25 in particular, because you're not a boomer and you understand how AI automation works. Now, if you're new here, my name is Dominic Schwantes. I'm the founder of Workflows, a B2B AI lead generation agency. I document everything I do in real time, the campaigns, the systems, and the results. And what you'll find in this document is based on what actually works, not just some theory. So, what an AI automation agency actually does. An AI automation agency identifies manual, repetitive processes inside a client's business and replaces them with automated systems built using AI tools and integration platforms. The manual process might be a team leader calling an office admin every time materials need to be ordered, or an accounts person manually creating invoices every time a project milestone is reached, or a scheduler manually routing maintenance crews between jobs every morning. The agency maps out what is happening at each step, identifies which steps can be handled by software, and builds the connections between the tools required to make it run automatically. The client goes from spending hours per week on manual processes to having it run in the background autonomously. The only human involvement remaining is approving outputs or handling exceptions. Find the manual process, build the automation, and then hand it over. Now, let's have a look at some of the tools that make it possible. AI automation in 2026 doesn't require custom coding skills from scratch. The tools available now allow an operator with solid knowledge of integration platforms and AI APIs to build sophisticated automations without being a software engineer. Now, some of the main integration platforms are Make.com and N8N. Now, Make.com is the primary integration platform just because it's easier. N8N is for more technical people with a coding background. But Make.com is the primary integration platform for building automation workflows for the average Joe. It connects hundreds of software tools via APIs and allows you to build visual workflows that trigger action based on conditions you define. Now, a typical workflow looks like this. This is an example from the 12.7K deal. Now, when a drop form submission is received containing a supply order, it extracts the order details and sends them to the supplier via email. And then it notifies the team leader via Gmail with the confirmed delivery time. Make.com handles all of that without any manual input. Now, pertaining to AIs as part of the AI automation workflow, Claude via the Anthropic API is used for any step that requires reading, interpreting, or generating text, like passing income bills to extract line item data, analyzing a team leader's end-of-day checklist to identify bottlenecks, or classifying income emails by type and routing them correctly. The combination of Make.com for workflow orchestration and Claude for language understanding covers the vast majority of business automation use cases. Now, if you don't want to, or if you're hesitant about cost, you can use the OpenAI API, but Claude is obviously a stronger model. Now, in terms of business software APIs, the automations connect to whatever software the client is already using. For example, Xero for accounting, Aeroflow for field service management, Google Maps for routing, Jotform for data collection, and SignNow for contract signing. The agency does not ask the client to change their software. It builds the automation around the tools that they already have. Now, the actual business model itself. An AI automation agency can generate revenue through three distinct models, each with different cash flow characteristics. The first and the most basic one is a fixed price project work, which is obviously the simplest. A client has the processes they want automated, the agency scopes the work out, agrees on a fixed price, takes a deposit on the signing, and receives the balance on delivery. This produces clear deliverables, a defined timeline, and a single payment cycle per engagement. For a new agency, it is the most straightforward way to get started generating revenue. For fixed projects, in the small to medium-sized businesses and the trades market typically range from 5 to 25 grand, depending on the complexity. A straightforward 4 automation project lands around 12.7K, as was in my case, but obviously they were far more simpler. If you were going more complex on the automation side, it would range from $20,000 to $25,000. The second type is retainer and maintenance. Once an automation is live, the client often wants ongoing support, monitoring adjustments when the software changes, adding new automations as the business grows. A retainer or a monthly retainer typically ranges from 500 to 2 grand per month, depending on the complexity and support level required. For an agency with 10 active clients on a 1K per month retainer, that's 10K a month in recurring revenue on top of any new project work. The last but not least is for more experienced people is performance-based arrangements. For clients where the value is directly measurable in dollar terms, a performance-based arrangement can be structured. The agency charges a percentage of the verified saving produced by the automation. This requires more trust on both sides and a clear way to measure the baseline and the saving. Now, this obviously works better for more acquisition, where you can actually measure the revenue, not particularly for the back end. Now, it works best once the agency has established case studies and a track record that makes the performance claim reliable. Hence why I said only do this if you guys are experienced and have case studies to back you up. Now, who the clients are. The best clients are SMBs in industries with standardized, repetitive back-end processes, like trades businesses including construction, landscaping, electrical, and plumbing. An automation built for one of these landscaping companies can be adapted for the next with maybe 20% of the original build effort. So like I was saying in yesterday's video, if you have one landscaping company here, you can literally take that automation and fire it off to every single landscaping company in the country where you are, the US, the UK, or even any of those countries for that matter. And all it takes is a small 20% tweaking at the end to suit their custom needs, but it's basically the same infrastructure. Now, professional services include accounting firms, financial planning practices, law firms, and recruitment agencies. All have client onboarding, document generation, and reporting processes that are largely still manual. Property management companies manage large volume of recurring transactions, maintenance requests, and tenant communications. What all of these share is a single decision maker, a short sales cycle, real operating budgets, and processes that have been running manually for years, usually because the owner is a fossil and doesn't understand the singlest little thing about technology. So, one of the most important questions is how to actually get your first clients. The fastest route to the first client is cold email combined with a specific, credible offer. The offer names the specific type of processes being automated and what the outcome will be. It does not promise to improve efficiency or streamline operations or any of those vague terms. So, an example could be for trade businesses in particular. We identify 3 to 4 manual back-end processes consuming the most admin time in your business and automate them completely. It's a fixed price and it's live within 4 weeks, and we only charge the balance once the automations are running. From the first cold email reply to a signed contract typically takes 2 to 4 weeks. Now, the skills required is actually not that much. Building an AI automation agency doesn't require a software engineering background. The tools abstract away most of the complexity. What is required is a solid understanding of how APIs work, which isn't hard. You can learn that on YouTube in like 20 to 30 minutes, and how data flows between systems. The ability to read documentation for a new tool and figure out how to connect it. Comfortable with working through problems iteratively. Now, most technical knowledge develops through building. The first automation takes longer than the fifth, and the fifth takes longer than the 20th. The non-technical skills matter at least as much. Discovery conversations that surface the right problems, proposals that make the value clear, and the deliverable that produces what was promised on time. Now, why the window is open right now. The AI automation space for SMB clients is genuinely underserved. Most automation agencies target tech companies, marketing agencies, and SaaS businesses. The trades, construction, and professional services and local service business market is largely being ignored. The businesses in this industry are not being approached by competent automation operators. The door is wide open in a way that simply is not saturated in the SaaS market. At the same time, the tools available right now are mature enough that a skilled operator can deliver genuinely transformative automations without a team of engineers. Make.com, Claude, Xero, Aeroflow, Jotform, and SignOut. Stable, well-documented platforms that work reliably and have good API documentation. An underserved market plus mature tools is the condition that makes a new service business viable. Both conditions are present right now. So, given all of this, what does this mean for you? If you are considering building an AI automation agency, the model is incredibly straightforward, the market is accessible, and the skills are very learnable. The barrier to the first client is a credible offer and a targeted cold email campaign, not some technical background or enterprise case study. My advice to you is to learn the tools, identify a niche with manual processes, build a specific offer, and run cold email to get in front of the decision makers. Do the discovery, scope the work, build the automation, deliver it, and collect the case study. Repeat until the retainer revenue from existing clients covers the cost base, and then the new project revenue is pure upside. That is literally the entire model. So thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any videos you'd like me to cover in the future, leave them in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's video.